the first element of an array and subtract it from the last element, which we did using this method here called calc that called this array and took the first element, subtracted it by the second element, which we found through the index of the array -1 because all arrays are indexed by 0, and printed it out, which gave us 90, which is the correct answer. We also did it again with a new array here, 32 minus 3, which would give us 29. The following part to this part of the assignment was to use a loop to iterate through the array and calculate the average age, which I did for both of them. So the average age for the first one was 28. The average age for the next one, the second one, was 29. The second part of the assignment was to create an array of string called names that contained the following here. With this string, we would use a loop to iterate through the array and calculate the average number of letters. So going through this, we did the loop and it calculated that there was 3 characters per name. The second part to this was to use a loop to iterate through the array again and concatenate all the names together, which we did here, and split them up by spaces. So this is the result of that, concatenation and spaces. The next part was to create a new array called name lengths. And with this new array, we would iterate over the previously created array and add the length of each name to the new one. So basically, it would take the length of each one. So it would take 3 for Sam, 5 for Tommy, and so on. And that would be the new numbers in the new array. And the following part to that was to sum them all up through another loop, which gave 23. So 23 is how many letters are in all of these. So the following part of the assignment was to write a method that takes a string, word, and an int. And basically, it was to enter a word and concatenate it that many times. So let's say you entered the word dog. Please enter a number of times you'd like to concatenate the word. So 3. So it took the word dog and concatenated it together 3 times. The following was to write a method that takes 2 strings, the first name and the last name, and concatenate it together, but separate it with a space. So we'll use my name, Steph, last name, Lucy, and there it is, concatenated together with a space in between. Next, we did a method that takes an array of int and returns true if the sum of all the ints are greater than 100. So let's try it. 50, 50, 50, which equals 150. It's larger than 100, so it equals to true. Next, we would write a method that takes an array of double and returns the average of all the arrays. So let's try it. Please enter the amount of decimals you would like to sum up. Let's just say 2. And that is the average of those 2 decimals. Next, write a method that takes 2 arrays of double and returns true if the average of the elements in the first array is larger than the second. So enter the amount of decimals, 2, 2. So it returned true because the first average was larger than the second average. Write a method that takes will buy drinks, that takes a Boolean, is hot outside, and a double, money in pocket, returns true if it's hot outside and money is greater than 1050. So is it hot outside? We're going to say true. How much money do we have right now? We're going to say 40, 98. So return true because we have more than 1050 and it is hot outside. So we did buy a drink. And lastly, we had to create a method and solve our own problem. I created a method that converts kilometers to miles or miles to kilometers, and we can try it out here. So we'll enter K to convert kilometers to miles and just enter an amount, and it'll say that I have traveled 21.38 miles. If you wanted to do it the other way around, you can enter M for miles and then any distance in decimals, and it'll return the amount in kilometers.